Hello, you beautiful people. In this video, I want to talk about another learning methodology, which is gamification. Gamification is beautiful. Let me a little bit explain this concept. It's not only for education, it has been around in many different business sectors. Wherever we need to boost up consumer engagement, gamification is a kind of solution, like marketing industry or even in human resource, training people. And the concept has connectivity to behavioral economy and has a deep kind of root in neuroscience. And when we talk about it, so today I'm going to talk about that one. So let's first look at the definition of uh, gamification. The integration of game mechanics and dynamics in non-lodic environment. So we look at all the games, and this question pops up: that why we are so hooked into these games. If you have 2, 3 years old child or 4 years old child, when they play game, you see that you're never going to ask them to play the game. They really love it. So there's something in the game that we don't have it in a school to make our children hooked into what they do and give them pleasure and fun. Well, this concept called gamification, game designers, they know this very well because they know that if they don't design a kind of engaging games, they're going to lose the market. So for them, it's very important. Within years, they learn what are techniques and approaches that can keep people hooked in the game. And these techniques is not about graphical environment. It's not about the video game itself. Gamification is not building game-based environment or game to teach children mathematics and biology, which that one also is good. But gamification is using those mechanics, philosophy, approaches behind any game into education to make that mathematic really fun and engaging. And children, they don't say, hate math. So this is about gamification. So don't make a mistake. It's not about building a game, which is a good thing, but this is more than that. But before I go and I tell you that what are the nice things we can learn from video games in favor of education, I have to first look at gamification through a neuroscientist perspective. There is something really interesting in human body. We call it dopamine. Challenge, achievement, pleasure. This hormone does a lot of things in your body, but it's very effective the moment that you feel happy and motivated and inspired to do some things. Let me give you an example. When you take a challenge, a difficult challenge, and you want to really solve it, so you put your time and effort to do that. The moment you solve it, you get the achievement, and you feel pleasure. You want to do it again. You want to do again similar challenge, get the achievement, get the pleasure. You are in this loop, famous pleasure loop. And if challenge is too difficult, you don't like it. You feel anxiety. If it's too easy, you feel boredom. So if the given challenge adjusted at your level, and then you try and spend time and solve it, and yeah, I did it, and then I get the pleasure. This is the way that you get hooked in beautiful video games or softwares or even TV shows, not only for the game, or even the products or Instagram, or when you share something in your stories and people send the likes and then you say, I got it, and you want to do this again. This is very important in human body. And it turns out it's not about achievement, it's about anticipation of the achievement, like a slot machine that you are waiting and thinking, this is going to be my turn, or my football player team, they're going to win, or that. So this kind of mood makes you happy, energetic, and smarter. So question is how, because game designers, they know how to design the games to keep you in this cycle, in this loop. Now, we want to know that how we can bring it into education to keep children in this loop when they learn mathematics, when they learn biology or other topics in school. So that's why this is becoming very popular and important methodology among many other approaches. And I'm telling you that this is going to be very popular, very fundamental, and soon it will be everywhere. And especially when now education is getting more into technology and online learning platform, we have more abilities to bring it. So now let's go and talk about 5 things that I guess we can learn from video games. First of all, video games are fun. No doubt. If you played, you know that it's fun. So why we don't have that kind of feeling of the fun in the schools? And now there are a lot of research that shows that children, they feel school is boring. And anyway, game designer, they know that they have to keep it fun because they're going to lose their gamers and users and players. So there are a lot of elements, musics, interactive environments, learnings, puzzles. You can choose, you can make decision, something we missed from the school system for years, that we're just sitting and passive people and we can't change anything. But it's not like this. This is not the case of the game. In the game, you can change many things. And so that's one thing. Video games are fun. And there are a lot of things. We can talk about this part for hours, but just I want to review. And next is Mistake loop. This is very important. We know that doing mistake is inevitable part of the learnings, and actually you have to be in a kind of environment that you can keep doing mistakes. In physical world it's a little bit difficult and time doesn't allow. You can't go to the chemistry lab and stay there for 2 weeks and keep doing mistakes when you're in the high school or secondary school. You need a little bit of kind of environment or virtual environment to allows you to keep doing mistakes. Video games, they design based on this. No one gonna punish you when you do the mistakes. You learn from your mistakes. It's designed based on, okay, mistake is very something inevitable. You have to do it. So people learn to be strong, resilience coming from video games. We have to build such a kind of environment in this education to make sure that our students, not only they're becoming smarter, they're also getting stronger. That's, I think, another thing we can get from video games. The next things, which is very, very common in any video game, is collaborative or collaboration. Collaborative environment is fundamental part of most of famous games these days. There are single player game, but many famous games are multiplayer. And within the games, we learn how to share our stuffs. For example, Clash of Clans was one of these games that became very successful. And people have started to know how to find friends and make clan and share their resources. And there are many more games like this. Even Minecraft, one of my favorite games for children, let them to build, let them to things in the 3D environment and 3D geometry and share their stuffs. So there's no any doubt that in game we do have this collaboration in a kind of very fantastic way. Question is how we can map such a kind of collaboration in learning system, in education, that children come and get connected together, solve problem together, or build new problem together. And that is the another kind of things that you can easily, immediately take from video games. Next one, which is very interesting, is adaptive and personalized content. You know what? There's something really interesting. When you play game, you feel that depends on your game level, depends on your ability. Environment will change. For example, you're in level 1, then you're going to go to the level 2, then you're going to go to level 3. So it's not like you have to start in the level 3. It's not like everybody should do the same things. The school system traditionally is like that. Everybody learns same book, and everyone based on the age. For example, if you're 13 years old and you're good in the topic or you're slow in the topic, there's no need different. You have to go through it like anyone else. But when you play game, you immediately feel that, okay, so it's based on my level. I can learn new skills and I can improve. I can go to the next level, more challenges. Mastery is a part of gamification in any video games. This is, I guess, another important things that can be grasped from video games and can be applied to the school system, especially in the online learning environment, that children and the students, they can really go through content, face with content based on their level. So I may be 9 years old, but I'm good in geometry. I'm going to get the top questions in geometry or challenges. Or maybe I'm 16 years old and weak in geometry. So when it comes to geometry, I face with different levels. So that is about mastery. Finally, something that I really wanted is intrinsic reinforcement. Look at here. The goal of gamification is to bring you eventually to a point that you are engaged with product intrinsically. Let me explain. Most of game designers, they use some interesting mechanics and tools in their game. Like, for example, XP or experience point. When you engage with the games, or even a kind of app like Duolingo to learn a language, when you engage, when you participate and you do some tasks, you gain points. When you collect points, you get badges and you increase your levels and ranks and rank. And then when you get a high ranks, you get reputation, leaderboard, a scoreboard. So all these kind of elements designed to keep you engaged, but they are all intrinsic. It means like you have points, you want to show it to other people. You are in the leaderboards, you are in a kind of clan or badges or that kind of stuff. But eventually, if you continue like that, you will feel that the desire which started intrinsically now is moving intrinsically. It means rather than I sit down with my child every day and I tell him or her that why mathematics is important for now in your future, it's better I start from such a kind of gamified environment. And after a while, when they are enjoying from the math, maybe just because they want to get more points, eventually they face with math itself. Nice problems, nice challenges. So they get hooked not only to that gamified environment, to the subject of the gamification as well. This is the process of moving from extrinsic to intrinsic. And it's so easy and safe and definitely workable in gamified environment. Remember, gaming is one of the biggest industry in the world, bigger than TV and music industry and many, many more industries, the futures, and should be in the education in a proper way. So this was about this gamification. And I totally believe that This is going to be the mainstream because children naturally engage with the gamified environment. So they remember badges, scoreboard, and this and that. Why not apply them into education? Then game is not a kind of threat for children education. That's all.